Hello friends, my name is Dalit Soni and I welcome you all in this new episode of News on Map India segment. So in this episode, we will be discussing few locations which has been in news in the past week and otherwise also which are very much important for your exam point of view. So we will be talking about few locations in the format of MCQs. So let's start with the practice question which was given to you in the last class. So the question was, which of the following statement is not correct about Khalsa Banduri project? Okay, so there is this project named Khalsa Banduri. Okay, options are A. It proposes to divert Mahadai river water into the Malprabha river in the state of Karnataka. Okay, so they are saying that we will be diverting water of Mahadai river into the Malprabha river in the state of Karnataka. Okay, option B is the Mahadai river flows through Karnataka and Goa before joining the Arabian Sea. Option C is the diversion of Mahadai water has been a point of contention between Goa and Karnataka. Option D is Mahadai or Mahadai river originate in Bhimgad Wildlife Sanctuary in the Eastern Ghats. Okay, so let's see. Here in the map you can see that there is this Bandura Dam or Khalsa Dam. Okay, so when we are talking about these two dams and the project overall, we can say that these projects are basically based in Karnataka. It is project of a Karnataka government wherein they have decided to divert the water of Mahadai river by the way of these two dams to the Malprabha river. Okay, so you can say that in the Karnataka there are some water deficit areas which can be served better by this particular project. But now the thing is, when we are talking about this Mahadai river, here you can say that the course is mostly in Karnataka and then it goes to Goa. And where is Goa get most of its water from this Mahadai river? Now when there is a dam on the Mahadai river, that is Bandura Dam, or because of which dam there will be a scarcity of water, because if the water is utilized here and that is diverted to the Malprabha river, so obviously the remaining amount of water would be less. So since Goa is a lower riparian state, okay, and Karnataka is a upper riparian state, because of which Goa has some contentions related to it. Okay, so that is about this particular project. Here you can say there are few states which are involved, that is there is Maharashtra. We can say that there is another dam because of which Maharashtra has issues, but that is not our problem right now. Right now when we are talking about this particular project, Goa and Karnataka has contentions because of this Bandura Dam. Okay, the overall project is Khalsa Banduri project. Okay, now here you can say this is the course of Mahadai river. This is starting from the state of Karnataka in the Bhimgad Wildlife Sanctuary, and then it is moving towards Goa, and again afterwards it meets Arabian Sea. Okay, now here you can see this is Bhimgad Wildlife Sanctuary. This is in Karnataka somewhere here, and then we have this boundary of Goa. Okay, it will enter Goa and to the Arabian Sea. Okay, so you can say that origin of Mahadai river, which is basically Bhimgad. Okay, this Mahadai river is also known as Mandovi river in Goa. When it enters into Goa, it is its names basically in the local language they are calling it as Mandovi river. Okay, so that is about this particular map. And now coming to the questions again. It proposes to divert water from Mahadai river into Malprabha river in the state of Karnataka. We have seen that, so this statement is correct. Now the Mahadai river flows through the Karnataka and Goa before joining Arabian Sea. So this is also correct. Okay, the diversion of Mahadai river water has been a point of contention between Goa and Karnataka. As I told you, Karnataka is upper riparian state, Goa is the lower riparian state, and because of which there is a point of contention because of the availability of the water. Okay, now option D is Mahadai or the Mahadai river originate in Bhimgad Wildlife Sanctuary in Eastern Ghats. Now the thing is, when we are talking about the states like Goa and Karnataka, they are on the Western Ghats and not the Eastern Ghats. Okay, so definitely we can say that this statement is incorrect. So here we are to select the not correct option, so D would be your right answer. I guess this is clear. Now let's move to the question number 1 of this episode. Okay, now Yankti Kti Valley. Okay, Yankti Kti Valley was in news due to multiple events of glacial advances. It is located in Uttarakhand, Ladakh, Arunachal Pradesh and Himachal Pradesh. Okay, so here in the map you can see this is basically your Kuti river somewhere here. Okay, then we have this Yankti Kti river. Okay, so there are two rivers. So this area basically is the valley region of Yankti Kuti. Okay, so we can say that this broader area is basically your Yankti Kuti Valley region. Okay. Now when we are talking about this blue impressions here, these are basically your glaciers. Okay, so we have these glaciers over here, and recently there is a study which says that these glaciers are basically shifting their course, or you can say these glacial advances are basically changing their directions. Okay, scientists are saying that thousands of years ago there was this plate tectonic activity which has happened here, and because of which they have been observing this region, and recently they have found that these glaciers are basically changing their directions, or you can say they are advancing in a different direction than they used to. Okay, so because of that study, this particular area has been in news, and this area here you can see it is in Uttarakhand, Pithoragarh district. Okay, and these two tributaries, or you can say these two rivers, are basically tributaries of Kali River. You must have heard about Kali River because you know that it is a river which is making boundary with India and Nepal, and because of which there are some contested areas between India and Nepal. These areas are in India's territory, but Nepal is also claiming them, considering the change in the course of Kali River. Okay, so here you can see this is basically your, here you can say this is the area of Yankti Kuti River Valley, and then here you have this Nepal. Okay, so basically these are your tributaries of Kali River. Okay, now coming to the question, here you can say that it is in Uttarakhand. Option A would be your right answer. Okay, fine. Moving further to the question number 2. Which of the following countries are part of Central Asian Flyway? In the last discussion also we have talked about this Central Asian Flyway, but recently we are talking about this flyway because of certain event which has happened. I will be talking about that. Okay, so basically you can say that COP24 of CMS has happened. Okay, CMS is basically related to your convention on migratory bird species. Okay, so it is an international convention which has happened in Azerbaijan recently. COP24 of CMS happened in Azerbaijan, and that is why it was in news, and that is why we have taken this particular question. Okay, which of the following countries are part of Central Asian Flyway? Myanmar, Nepal, Pakistan, Sri Lanka and India. Okay, choose the correct options. There are some options given: 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 3, 4, 5 and all of the above. Now when we are talking about Central Asian Flyway, here you can see there are nearly 30 countries which are part of this Central Asian Flyway. Okay, so most of the countries are in Indian neighborhood, they are part of it. Okay, so we can say that mostly when we are talking about this area, even some part of Myanmar are also covered in this Central Asian Flyway. Okay, so why these birds are basically migrating to this area? Because they start from Siberia region. Okay, so in the winters there are you can say that winters are kind of harsh in Siberia because of the ice caps, etc. So that is why they move to the southern part of the world. So here you can say that from the Siberia region, or the you can say north part of the Asia, they are coming towards the Middle East, Middle and the Southern Asia. Okay, so that is your Central Asian Flyway. Okay, so now we can say that there are nearly 30 countries which are forming part of it. From breeding grounds in Siberia to wintering places across West and South Asia, water bodies offer stopovers for lakhs of birds. Okay, so when we are talking about various stopovers, there are various water bodies, wetlands, which are basically giving these birds a stopover or a place to rest. Okay, so that is why these areas are quite important. India has proposed that to make sure the habitat of these particular birds being conserved. That is why they have gone for the proposals wherein they have talked about the conservation of the habitat of these migratory species or migratory bird species. Okay, so now they are also having the regional importance, because even if these birds are not coming over there, these are some water bodies which are important for the ecological point of view. So we can say that even if after all, other than being the part of this particular flyway, you have to conserve these water bodies because they have this ecological significance. Okay, now moving to the question here. So as I told you, most of the countries are being part of this particular flyway. Here you can say that Myanmar, Pakistan, India, Nepal and Sri Lanka. All these basically covered in this particular region. So we can say that all of the above are your answer. Okay, so D would be your answer. Now moving to the question number 3. Regarding Ladakh, consider the following statement. Statement 1 is Ladakh range is southeastern extension of the Karakoram range. Second is Rupsu brackish lakes are situated in Ladakh. Okay, so which of the above given options are correct? You have to choose the correct options. Now here you can see, when we are talking about this particular area, here you have seen this is the Karakoram range. Okay, and then in the southern part we have this Ladakh range. Okay, so here you can say that this is the Karakoram and this is Ladakh. So that is one thing. When we are talking about this Rupsu lakes, okay, so here you can see we have this very prominent or important lakes, that is basically your Sokar and Somurari. You must have heard about them. They are in the Ladakh region, and in between this Somurari and Sokar, we have this area where there are small lakes. This group of lakes are known as Rupsu Lake. Okay, so this is in Ladakh. Here they have, this is Pangongso Lake, and then this is the area we are talking about, that is Rupsu, and this is the enlarged picture of this. Okay, now coming to the question again. Okay, Ladakh range is southern extension of the Karakoram range. Rupsu brackish lakes situated in the Ladakh region. Okay, so both of them are correct. As I told you, this is the southern extension of Karakoram range, and then Rupsu are basically brackish water lake, and they are located in the Ladakh region. So we can say that option C would be your right answer, both 1 and 2. Now moving further, question number 4. Consider the following statement about river Devika rejuvenation project. Okay, so basically we have recently talked about Ladakh, because in Ladakh you know that there is a demand of statehood. Otherwise also there was this earthquake which has happened recently in Ladakh, and because of which Ladakh has been in news. And when we are talking about this river Devika rejuvenation project, because of the recent visit by our Prime Minister to Jammu and Kashmir after the abrogation of Article 370, this is the second time he has visited over there, and that is why this visit becomes important, and he has inaugurated various infrastructure projects over there, and one of that project is this you can say river Devika rejuvenation project. Okay, so now let's read the statements. River Devika originates from the hilly Sudh Mahadev temple in the Udhampur district of Ladakh. Statement 2 is it emerges, or you can say it merges with the river Ravi in Pakistan. It is North India's first river rejuvenation project. And fourth is this initiative, inspired by the Namami Gange campaign, aims to safeguard the sacred Devika river's purity and health. Okay, so now coming to the location of this particular river. Okay, so when we are talking about this river, most of the parts of this river are in Jammu and Kashmir. I have not shown you the proper course, because this river Devika is having this course in patches. Okay, you must have heard about this Bhabar region. Okay, in this region most of the rivers go, or you can say they disappear during the course of their or you can say these rivers disappear during their course. Okay, so because there are various voids in the pebbles, and because of which they go beneath the surface, because of which we can say that these rivers are kind of disappearing in nature again and again. So when we are talking about this river Devika, it has the similar features wherein it disappears from time to time. Okay, so that is why there is no one location, or you can say there is no river course which can be maintained. Okay, now here you can see when we are talking about this river, so basically here you can say this is Ravi. Okay, and somewhere here we have this river which is basically under the surface, it is flowing, and ultimately coming to meet Ravi river. Okay, so somewhere here it is having in patches. Okay, and it will come and enter with the Ravi river in Pakistan. Okay, so see, this is the river, there are certain patches of the river here. Okay, and then it will meet to Ravi. Okay, now coming back to the question, as I told you, Devika river originates from the hilly Sudh Mahadev temple, which is a factual information, you have to remember it, in the district of Udhampur in Jammu and Kashmir, and not Ladakh. So this statement is wrong. Now it merges with the river Ravi in Pakistan, which is fine, which we have discussed also. It is India's first river rejuvenation project. Now this is a factual information which is true, and because of which this particular topic was in news, because PM has inaugurated this project. Okay. Now fourth is, this initiative is inspired by the Namami Ganga campaign, aims to safeguard the sacred Devika rivers purity and health. So this is also factual statement which is correct. Okay. Now you have to choose the correct statement. How many of the statements are correct? You can say 2, 3 and 4. So basically 3 statements are correct. Option C would be your right answer. Okay. Now moving further, question number 5. Recently, Prime Minister inaugurated world's highest railway bridge in Jammu and Kashmir on which of the following river? As I told you, PM has visited Jammu and Kashmir and he has inaugurated various projects. One of the project is this, okay, where there is this railway link between Katra and Banihar, and it is supposed to be the highest railway bridge in the world right now. Okay, so options are Chenab, Ravi, Jhelum and Indus. So let's see. This is the bridge we are talking about. This is highest single arch bridge. Okay, this is the arch which we are talking about. So this is highest single arch bridge. Okay, and it is even higher than the Eiffel Tower in Paris. So now this river is this railway link is basically connecting Katra to Banihar. Here you can say, and it is constructed under Ek Bharat Shresth Bharat project. Okay, so now this started or announced in 2003, and this has been completed recently and inaugurated by our Prime Minister recently. Okay, so here I would like to tell you one thing here, that it is on the Chenab river. Okay, so this is the river here, Chenab. So obviously your answer would be A, that is Chenab. Question number 6. Regarding the Palard Gap, consider the following statements. Okay, so now when we are talking about this Palard Gap, you must have heard about Borghat, Palghat. These are some gaps or discontinuities in the you can say mountain ranges. So statements are, it is often called a significant discontinuity in the eastern Ghat. Now second statement is, separates the Nilgiri and Annamalai hills. Third is, Bharatpura, or you can say Bharatpujha river flows through the Palghat. Basically in the local language they call it Bharatpura. Okay, so Bharatpura river flows through the Palghat gap. How many of the statements are correct? Okay, so let's see. So when we are talking about this Palghat and Borghat, they are basically breaks or discontinuities in the western Ghats, you can say, or the Sahdris. Okay, so these are your Sahdris, western Ghats, and somewhere here this we have a Palghat gap. Okay, because here there is a break between, you can say, the northern range and the southern range. Okay, so this is Palghat gap. Okay, and in the northern part we have this Nilgiri, and in the southern part we have this Annamalai. In the next picture it will be more clear. Here you can see this, we have Nilgiri here. Okay, somehow Nilgiri is the mountain range which basically connect your eastern Ghats to the western Ghats. So we can say that this is how it will run. Okay, and then when we are talking about the southern range, which is Annamalai hills. Okay, so in between these two ranges we have this Palghat, and it is said that this Bharatpura river is basically flowing between these two these two hills and basically through the Palghats. Okay, so here you can see in the map here, this is the area where Palghat is at. Okay, so now when we are looking at this area, here you can see this is the river basin of Bharatpura river. Okay, so basically we can say that it is passing through the Palghat. Okay, now it is often called as a significant discontinuity in the eastern Ghats. Now the thing is, we have recently seen that it is on the western Ghats. Okay, so it is on the western Ghats and not the eastern Ghats. So this statement is incorrect. Now it separates the Nilgiris and the Annamalai hills, which is true, which we have seen. Now Bharatpura or Bharatapuja river flows through the Palghat. This statement is also correct. Okay, so how many of the statements given are correct? So option B would be your right answer. Only 2 and 3. Okay, now question number 7. Consider the following lines. It originates from Manipur hills. Okay, so there are certain lines which has been given on the basis of which you have to arrive at your answer. Okay, so now it originates from the Manipur hill. Its principal tributaries are Ziri, Chiri, Modhura, Jatinga, Harang, Daleswari, Singla, Logai, Sonai and Kathakal. Okay, so these are some tributaries. If you remember one of them, so that would give you an answer. Otherwise also it is the second largest river system in the northeastern region of India. Okay, largest is Brahmaputra, we know that. Okay, and now second largest is this particular system. Now the 6th national waterway stretch is on this particular river. Now, which of the following river is being talked about in the above passage or the statements? Okay, options are Barak River, Teesta River, Brahmaputra River and the Feni River. As I told you, Brahmaputra is the largest, so we can say that Brahmaputra is not your answer. Okay, now coming to the other options, here you can say in this particular picture you can see here, this is the river basin of this particular river or river system. Okay, so this is in the areas of Assam, some part of Mizoram, Tripura and Manipur. Okay, so we can say that it is in the Manipur, Assam, Mizoram and Tripura, and ultimately it goes to the Bangladesh. Okay, now here it originates somewhere here in the Manipur hills, and then it flows westward. Okay, it is going to enter into Assam, and then this river goes to basically you can say Bangladesh, and when it enters Bangladesh it divides into two rivers, that is Surma and Kushiara river. Okay, so here you can see that when we are talking about this river, so it starts from Manipur hills and then further moving in India, then when it enters Bangladesh it breaks into two rivers, that is one is Surma river, second is your Kushiara river. Okay, other than that, when we are talking about the origin of this river, that is Manipur hills, which is clear, and the name of the river is Barak. Or when we are talking about these are the tributary of this particular river, so this whole area is basically your Barak river system. Okay, so as I told you, when we are talking about Barak river system, this has these four states. Okay, that is Manipur, Assam, Mizoram, Tripura, and then it enters into Bangladesh. Okay, now that is your river Barak. So this is the course of the river. Here you can see. Okay, now when we are talking about the national waterway 6, that is basically your Lakhipur to Banga. Okay, so from Lakhipur to Banga, we have this national waterway 6. When we are talking about national waterways, you know that there are various waterways which has been under the pipeline, and recently we know that certain waterways like NM1 is working, that is between Allahabad to your Haldia. Okay, and when we are talking about the national waterway 2, that is from Dhubri to Sadia, and when we are talking about national waterway 6, that is from Lakhipur to Banga. Okay, so when we are talking about national waterway 6, that is basically on your Barak river. Okay, here you can see this is basically it is smaller patch, so it is seen that it is on the Barak river from Lakhipur to Banga. Okay, now coming to the, and when we are talking about the states, okay, which are involved in that, they are Assam, Mizoram, Manipur and Tripura, because they are basically on the you can say river basin of Barak river. Okay, now coming to the question again, which is being talked about, as I told you, it is the 6th national waterway on the stretch of the 6th national waterway, so that is Barak river system. Other than that also, when we are talking about the specific facts, you can say that this is the second largest river system in the northeastern region of India. Okay, and it is originating from the Manipur hills, and if you want to remember certain tributaries, that is Zidi, Siri, Modra, Jatinga, Harang. Okay, now option A would be your right answer, that is Barak river. Question number 8. In the context of Cauvery River, consider the following statement. Statement 1 is it rises on Brahmagiri hills of Western Ghats. Okay. Statement 2 is it flows through the Tamil Nadu with major tributaries coming from the Kerala and drains into Bay of Bengal through Puducherry. Okay. Then option 3 is statement 3 is the Cauvery River dispute involves 4 states. Okay. Now Cauvery River dispute has been in news for a while because it is a age-old dispute, you can say 150 years nearly. Okay, it started in some 19th century, end of the 19th century, and throughout the 20th century there has been talks, etc. And in 1990s there was this tribunal which was made for the resolution of this particular issue, and they have given their judgment in 2007, and that was challenged in Supreme Court, and again Supreme Court has upheld the judgment, and afterwards they have given some share of Cauvery River to different states and union territories. Okay, so coming to the map, here you can see it originates from Brahmagiri hills in Karnataka in Western Ghats, you know that, and then from Karnataka it enters into Tamil Nadu, and then through Pondicherry area it enters to the Bay of Bengal. Okay, so when we are talking about the river course, it is basically it in the Karnataka, Tamil Nadu and Pondicherry, but when we are talking about the dispute is between the three states, that is Karnataka, Kerala and Tamil Nadu, and one union territory, that is Pondicherry. Okay, so here you can see this is the basin. Basically, why Kerala is entering into the issue, because it is also part of the river basin. Okay, there are certain tributaries which are basically originating from the Karnataka and entering into Cauvery, and that is why it becomes important. Or when we are talking about the river sharing, Kerala is also having some stakes. Okay, so it originates from the Karnataka, and then courses through the Tamil Nadu to Pondicherry and in the Arabian Sea. And when we are talking about the river basins, so Karnataka, Kerala, Tamil Nadu and Pondicherry are part of it. Okay, so there was water allocation which has been decided by the tribunal, and in case of some kind of scarcity, the water will be decided on the basis of equity. Okay, now here these are the states: Karnataka, Tamil Nadu, Kerala, and when we are talking about Pondicherry, it is a union territory. So you can say that there are 3 states and 1 UT. Okay, now coming to the question, it rises on the Brahmagiri hills of the Western Ghats. As I told you, this is correct statement, we have seen that, and it flows through the Tamil Nadu with major tributaries coming from Kerala and drains into Bay of Bengal through Pondicherry. Okay, so this statement is also correct. Now the Cauvery River dispute involves 4 states. Here is the catch, because there are 3 states and 1 UT, that is Pondicherry or Puducherry. Okay, so this statement is incorrect. So how many of the given statements are not correct? Okay, so we can say only one, that is statement 3. So option A would be your right answer. With that, we have covered today's MCQ discussion. Let's see the practice question, that is regarding Mizoram, which currently has celebrated its foundation day. Consider the following statements. Pongpu is the highest peak in Mizoram. Statement 2 is Kolodine River flows along the eastern side of the Phongiri National Park and also forms the international border with Myanmar. Okay, so you have to choose the correct option which has been given here. So now with that, I would like to take your leave. If you have not subscribed the channel, please subscribe the channel. I'll see you in the next episode. Till then, have a good day. Thank you.
For more informative content, like, share and subscribe, and do not forget to press the bell icon to get the notifications.